My name is Justin Short. I am running for the 4th District at Large in Kansas City, and the general election is June the 20th, and I would encourage everyone to stand tall, vote short. So I think, that's a great question, and the first one is basic city services. We have a city who is currently being showcased on the national stage, but we need a city that is always ready to be shown on the national stage. And we need to clean up our city. We need to improve our infrastructure in terms of streets and sidewalks and the potholes that we all talk about. So basic stuff. Public safety, reducing our violent crime rate. Those are big things for our campaign. The second one is development. It is important that we continue to grow our city, but not only grow our city, but provide a city that all Kansas Cityans can afford, that can stay here, that aren't being priced out of their homes or their neighborhoods or their dwelling units, whether it be rental or owned. So I think that that's really important. And the third one is full-time leadership. We believe very strongly that the next city council, the next iteration of city council, needs to have full-time leadership. And that is one of the things that is a primary focus of our campaign, is being fully engaged in the community in which we represent. Oh goodness, that's a good one too. I love that question. One of the things that people should know about me is that when I started doing this 2 years ago, I committed to going everywhere and learning everything I possibly could, not only about the municipal process, but about the 325 square miles of our city and the vast amount of neighborhoods it represents. And I think us showing up and listening and learning is going to be essential for us being ready to do the job on day one. I believe that we are the most prepared because we have the most knowledge about the process and what is going on for everyday folks. And if there's people that haven't heard from us, I would love a connection and reach out to us, please, because we would love to do some learning. And I'm somebody who believes deeply in Kansas City. I'm very passionate about this place. I'm passionate about the work that I'm doing. I'm passionate about the future of our city, and I believe that the future of Kansas City is very bright, and I look forward to being a next part of that growth. I think the top 3 goals would be the first one is to continue to grow our city. Enhancing our transportation options. Oftentimes, we're building all these wonderful things, but the goal there is to get people to housing centers and jobs. And one of the ways we do that is by a robust public transit system. And it's time that we have a transit system that is on time and on task. There's some really exciting things happening with Project Iris, which is our on-demand ride-share service, which is actually expanded into Center City today, April 27th. So, decreasing headways for bus stops, increasing what the bus stops look like with benches and coverings and all that stuff, and making that equitable throughout the city is going to be really important. One of the things that is important to us is, again, the affordable housing piece. There's some wonderful things that we have with the Affordable Housing Trust Fund and stuff like that can bring down construction costs, so it's affordable to those. And it's important that we're using an affordability rate that is Kansas City, Missouri specific and not the region specific, because those are 2 very different numbers. And so I think that's important, but also supporting organizations that are working to reduce our violent crime rate in our city, because it is something that has to be addressed. And this next city council must be held accountable and responsive to those needs. I always say I cannot hope to lead a community I know nothing about. I spent 2 years on the LGBTQ Commission of Kansas City, and there's a wide array of community issues there that we are dealing with today. But then the other side of that coin is bringing folks to the table who have historically been left out of the conversation. And that is why we have been spending so much time in various areas of the city, because we believe that city government needs to come down from the 26th floor and onto the sidewalk. And that simple step is going to allow us to hear more diverse voices and allow us to lead from a place that is more informed. And also creating relationships with the other districts, creating relationships with the county, creating relationships with the state is going to be very, very important as we lead into the next decade of Kansas City. And so those are ways that we're going to be able to make sure that that happens from our office. I love that. Okay, I think 30 days, the first thing I'm going to do is bring back 4th District meetings. We haven't had one since July of 2021, and so I think it's important for us to bring that back, a monthly 4th District meeting where we're hearing from neighbors, where we're hearing from community organizations, where we're updating the community on what's going on. A City Hall update, a KCPD update, a social service update, what's happening in your area, a neighborhood update. You know, there's all these things that the people should be learning about that we need to be presenting as a council office. I think 60, 90 days, one of the things I'd really like to see is finding a way to fund the Affordable Housing Trust Fund into perpetuity. $50 million that we passed in bonds is going to be spread out over several years, but that money is going to be spoken for soon-ish, I should say, not soon. But and I think it's important for us to be looking at ways to continue to do that while also developing a plan for increasing dwelling units in our city, whether it's single family home, whether it's colonnades, whether it's accessible ADUs, whether it's multifamily dwellings, whatever that might be, we need to continue to build. And I think 90 days out, 90 days paints a much broader picture for what we could be as a city, particularly from our office. So I think that when we're looking at 90 days, that's when we really need to start connecting with other districts and start organizing as a collective for the future that we all want in Kansas City.